Number 3, attempt number 3. Welcome everyone. My stream was working perfectly fine a moment ago, and then it didn't, and now it did maybe, and then now it did again, maybe not. Maybe, I think, let's see, things might look okay. That seems to be good right there. That's one thing. Let's session is at 0 time, so that doesn't look good, so we'll see what happens. So Twitch seems to be fine. Let's go look at YouTube. YouTube always works just fine. Twitch is always the problem, almost making me think like I should just stop streaming on Twitch, although I have built an okay audience there. Although the cool place to be at is YouTube. But let's see. Yeah, I'm a little concerned that Twitch keeps saying that the stream time is 0, even though the bitrate, their bitrate they claim to be good, 2000 bitrate, 2000K. And I see myself on my YouTube panel, and it says live, and it says excellent, so that's good. But now let's see if it's gonna stay good. Have to set these settings again. How can I auto set these settings on YouTube? No, this is not made for kids, gosh darn it. So that seems to be set there, but then I have to set this other setting over here. Title, gaming, playlist, put this in that playlist again for the 3rd time. And no, not made for kids, no promotion. Put in a tag, MtG Arena. Recorded today. What is today? We're already halfway through this month, aren't we? Amazing. And then the year 2020 arrived, 2021. Monetization on. Okay, there we go. So I think I set all my settings on YouTube. Settings are saved. Twitch looks fine. If I wave over here, does it appear on YouTube? Yes, I'm appearing there. Okay, well everyone, thank you and welcome. I didn't do the intro because I already did it. This is my 3rd time trying to get the stream to work. So I'm not going to do the intro, but if you love the intro, there's a few seconds of the intro. You know how it goes. I need to update that intro, right? Where it shows me getting to Mythic rank. But, as for the moment, what I think I need more importantly is my video configuration is a little weird. Advanced settings, something like that, perhaps. Color intensity, like that, possibly. How's everyone doing? I'm just trying to get my final settings working here. Thanks everyone as usual for coming to hang out. Oh, not participants. Pop out chat. There we go. So I think I've got it all ready to go. I've been streaming since around January 2018, and I'm getting better and better at it. Or you can tell me actually if I am or not. Okay, so let's get started over here. Guess one more quick change on this camera. It looks a little blue. Does it look a little blue? Set these things to defaults over here. Now it's too dark. So let's change our exposure. Guess we're good there. Okay, I think all of those settings are good. Let's run through all of our cameras, which I did, but then everything failed to behave. Okay, so we've got the game camera. Everything looks good right there. We've got our amazing camera looking over here. I think it's a little too overexposed. Skin tone's a little bit weird, but we can live with that. It's a different camera. Then we have the full screen cam over here, looking pretty good. Fix that right there. Got it. Then our web browser over here, we'll move it over here. Okay, so our web browser's off. Let us fix web browser. There's also something else that we're gonna try with the web browser in a little bit. But for the moment, put that over here on there. All right, web browser is active. I'm also going to eventually, yeah, get that working like that. We'll get back to that in a little bit. That's weird. Okay, so we'll get to that in a moment. Leave it up like that. And then we've got live cam over here. Great. Okay, live cam's not working because it's not plugged in. Okay, almost there. Just one moment. Let me plug it in. I thought I had all of this ready to go, but then everything crashed. And while I'm talking, it might even be that Twitch is behaving. Okay, that's good. You don't need to see that. Okay, so then, hey Stevie, how are you doing? I'm just still trying to get all my things working. This was acting really weird. Oh, there we go. Now that's working. Okay, so that's working. Then we've got that working over there, and then this one I had to restart this 3 times. This is the 3rd time, but I think it's all good now. Yeah, it's all good now. Okay, let's get it started. Thanks for visiting. Yep, everything looks good. Okay, well, let's get started with today. Welcome everyone. You're just on time after wrestling with my technology. I always like to say technology is great when it works. And today, that's what was happening here. I turned on my streamer and it all worked. Streamlabs. So what am I using? Yeah, Streamlabs. It worked all perfectly fine, and then I literally just started it, and I started to say hello everyone, and then all my things said it disconnecting and everything. So then I had to restart the whole thing 3 times. So now it seems to be working. Doing good. Just got done with a fun art convention that you watched all day from the Super Annie crew. Who I hadn't heard about it. Tell me all about it there in the chat as I start the stream today. So as we can see here, our usual schedule. I added one more thing to the schedule, which we'll see about doing at the end of the day. And so one of the big things that we're going to do today, possibly in addition to the draft, we definitely have the draft, but actually let me put it like this. Let me change this. Schedule. Let's change here. I'm going to change one thing for our schedule. For the schedule, I'm going to put the Arena Open. And of course, this is going to bump over. There it is. Okay, so we're going to do the Arena Open, as you can see there on the Play Blade. That's not what that's called. The Play Blade is over here. But we've got a brand new huge tournament to enjoy that I'm going to give a shot to, and with all of your amazing cheering. Maybe with, remember on YouTube you can, on Twitch you can send bits, which I need to fully set up, but you can send bits on Twitch, and I totally appreciate that. Toss a coin to your old VM Campos over here. And then also on YouTube, if you click somewhere, I think there's super chats or emojis or stickers, whatever they're called on YouTube, you can also pitch in one of those. I think like $1. All of that is totally appreciated. Basically, good lecture convention ended with 30-minute art jam. How many people were working on that art jam? Because I know at San Diego Comic-Con, one of my favorite things to do is go to the quick draw panel, which is we've got 3 artists at that moment drawing various challenges. We have an artist who changes all the time, and who have we had there that has changed? Mike Kazela was there one year. I like his stuff. He did The Adventures of Captain Jack. No, not Jack Sparrow. This was Captain Jack in the 80s. It was a furry cartoon, furry comic in the 80s. And then we've also had one of the guys that worked in that worked in Disney for a long time. And then we also have Scott Shaw, who legally has his name changed with an exclamation point at the end, so it's Scott Shaw. He worked on Hanna-Barbera cartoons in the 70s and the 80s and 90s. Oh, he still does cartoons, of course. And then Sergio Aragonés, creator of Gru. What else did he create? Definitely Gru, other things I'm blanking on. But we had that sort of drawing at Comic-Con that I love, that talk. There were 8 artists working all at once using Manga Studio. Cool. All right, let's start our gold digging. I want to, that one rolled pretty well. Okay, so I want to I want to get the gold for that, and what's the most efficient way to get that gold? Let's do some brawl. Blue or red and creatures. Okay, this has got a blue deck. I could play a mono blue deck. Maybe we'll play it more efficiently. Let's see about going a little bit more efficiently with a mono blue deck. Just to get there. Okay. So let's do the gold digging. We've got 500 gold and we've got 750 gold. Let's try to grab that. Do a little bit of the play here. This is a little bit more of a tier deck. You know what? I should be playing on the ladder area instead of the regular play. This deck is way too mean for regular play. So Miotobom Lupar. Is that a little bit of Portuguese right there, perhaps? Mioto, I believe, is Portuguese for like mucho, which is a lot. Yay! So the opponent gets a free turn. Explore. Actually, let's counterspell that for the first time ever. Nice. This is going to be one of those games where I get nothing. Cultivate. Okay, so they totally want to ramp into something. Huh. And yeah, let's pass. This is ridiculous, getting 4 turns in a row with no lands. Alright, so this is probably just the system telling me, play this deck on the real ladder. So let's play this on the real ladder. Let's go over to traditional standard, no, traditional historic ranked. Let's play this deck. See if that works better in a real. Hey, Dragosi's online. Shout out to Dragosi, friend of the podcast. So hopefully it's not too noisy if you can hear it, but I'm also doing laundry. I didn't get it done earlier, but it's perhaps on the final rinse cycle. Alright, we're playing a level 1 platinum. Let's see how we get there. I've been in platinum 4. I've been struggling in platinum 4. So I need to look it up in the news, but what woke me up this morning was like a military helicopter flying around the area over here in Eastlake, and it felt like it was really low, and those are noisy. Those military helicopters are noisy, and okay, so someone else that's going to be trying to ramp. Now what I could do, I could spell pierce them into getting something, but then that holds me back. So they're doing dinosaurs. They're doing dinosaurs on the ladder. Alright, well. So, rabbit bite. We need to look out for rabbit. Okay, they're doing drool. Alright, so they're definitely doing dinosaurs, but I'm missing land drops. So they're about to get their amazing dinosaur next turn. Okay, there is that land. Okay, let's see if we can get Spell Pierce to do something meaningful, but they're already at their dino. Nope, they're at one of those. Okay. So that's a 3/3 dino. That's fine. Go ahead and attack. Weird. Okay, so let's essence capture that dino that they're about to get. I guess I can play a blocker or hold on to a pierce. Guess we'll hold on to a pierce. And that's a flame sweep. Although they to have one of those. Okay, well. And then we'll go in and tap out one of those. They might attack with it. And obviously I won't block. Yep. Alright, so there we go. So speaking of Manga Studio, have you used it yourself? Is that a good app to use to draw cool stuff? Alright, so if they do summon a creature such as that one, I can essence capture it over here. That is a 3/3. Hey there, Tiny Truffle. Say hi to Stevie. Stevie's also here, and Stevie, if you don't know, this is, whoops, this is our good buddy Alex. Alex from the old Magic crew coming to hang out. So she did take my invitation. Thanks. So what are you up to? Drawing anything cool recently? Draw a card, of course. All right, we got the Terrimander. Let's scare them with a big ol' 5/4 creature. So, trying to play in the platinum level. Ooh, Marauding Raptor, do not want. And what's that cute little emoji there? Is it like two kissing somethings? Cute. Alright, let's see about this. Well, this is not cute right here. I'm sending 6, 7, 8 damage in the air. And relaxing after dinner. Very nice. What did you have? I made a keto lasagna. And it was very tasty. I've made it before. And I'm getting better at it. And so I made it just yesterday, and the opponent is GG. The art jam contained Peter Han, Eliza Ivanova, Kim Jung-gi, who's your inspiration, Carl Kolispi, and Victor Kalvachev, and Miss Jujutsu. It was leftover spaghetti. Sounds good. What do I want to do here? I think Tail's End, or do I want to steal something? If they're playing red, Aether Gust, return a red or green thing. We have a lot of options against that Dino deck. I'll probably just cut back on a couple of these Djinns. I don't think blinks are that important. So what we'll do is do these gusts to really mess with the opponent. Actually, do I need the Aether Gust or the Blink of an Eye? Because that draws me cards. And then a couple of Tail's End to stop that Enrage action. Yeah, Stevie, like I said, you might not recognize her, but Tiny Truffle is actually Alex from the Magic crew. Remember Angie, Alex, Ben? Who else used to come? Oh, John and Paul and everyone. I was actually just looking at my photo app was reminding me 3 years ago on this day. I don't know if your photo app does that, but my photo app was reminding me 3 years ago, and there's a photo of all of us. I should pull it up here somehow. There's a photo of all of us there. In good old 220, what room was it even? I don't remember now. But it reminded us, and who was in there? It was me. It was no, it wasn't when we did our draft. It was like one of the last days of the semester, and it was wrapping up the semester or something, because it reminded me from 3 years ago, December, right? So it was like one of our last. It wasn't that we were doing the drafts, it was more just about just the end of the semester of just playing. But it was me, you're there, Stevie, Alex, you're there too, Angie's there, John and Paul, I think Manny was there too. I'll see if I can find it. Red-Jaw Raptor, do not want. Yeah, might as well wreck it like this. Yeah, it was before the card club. Before the card club started. Oh, look at that! They want to block. You can't block if you don't have a thing to block with. And then we keep going. So if they want to recast that, then unfortunately I'm going to have to counter that. But they could have even something more amazing. Yeah, I guess. That's like the ultimate insult right there. That I bounce back their thing and then they want to cast it again, but then I counter it. Although they do have 3 more mana for 1 final Flame Sweep, so that's that final protection on that. Okay, well, we're both going to be hesitating right here. Nothing, eh? Okay, well, keep that going for a bit. Students emailing me, it's the weekend. Alright, so they must still have some sort of removal. Sure. Actually, that could be countered. That gets them a land. Okay, I'm getting all my lands. I swear, as soon as I get something good, this'll keep going. Another commune. Nah, you can keep digging for stuff. Well, they might be digging for their Carnage Tyrant, and then I can't deal. Oh, they're going to deal with the Regisaur Alpha. Fine, I can deal with that. Thusly. And then I got a spell piece. Come on, where's all my creatures? So many good creatures. Raptor. I can let that go past. And the spell pierce. Okay, we're just gonna keep doing some of this. Bobby Daniel is the opponent. They're playing a dinosaur deck, and I'm playing a very annoying blue deck, but I want to climb the ladder. All my counter spells. All my counter spells. So far I've only summoned 2 of my creatures, and I've got like 15, so where are my creatures? They're gonna catch up with a few more hits. Okay, nothing to Curious Obsession. Get that raptor back over there. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this can survive. I am pretty sure they have some sort of removal here, some sort of burn spell, because it was up to play that Curious Obsession, but it cannot yet. All right, so let's see. Here's their red spell. They're looking at it. They're about to abrade it. Let us instead force them to pay that, and then we'll do it one more time. There we go. So I've got plenty of stuff in the graveyard so I can get my Terramander to become huge. And then that has to hit. That's fine. Let that go through. Still pausing for something. Not good. Flame Sweep. They are tapped out. Let's cancel that so that they cannot enrage. And I got one of those. Okay, so come out. We were almost going to win this game. I think we can still win it, although they're going to be doing 6 damage. I've got 2 turns. 4, 5, 6. They're going to deal 6 damage to me right here. So they're going to kill me in 2 turns. I did totally whiff on a bunch of land draws, a lot of land draws. So this is the next turn. Double curious. This might be able to save me, maybe. Okay, this if I can get something good, I'm gonna get 2 cards here. If I can get one of my merfolks or one of my blow them back spells, I can survive this. If I don't get those 2 cards here, I am dead. Not good. Not good. Okay, good game, opponent. So let's try that again for the third. For the third one. Yeah, everything was good here. I had stuff to deal with the opponent. But it just didn't. You saw that I had like literally like 4 or 5 turns in a row. Yeah, I had so much good stuff. I had like 4 or 5 turns in a row that I got nothing. Let's look at this one more time. They definitely have creatures, so keep Essence Capture. They've got green creatures, so Aether Gust. Spell Pierce is not amazing, but it did save me a couple of times. Terramander. I'll take back some Terramanders and put some more bounce spells. Things you're going to work on during 2021 is memorizing perspective drawing and get better at life drawing. Exactly, the more practice, the better, because practice makes perfect, and lose it or use it. Okay, here we go. Perfect. This is my perfect draw right here, as long as I have counter spells. Now, okay, so I think it'll be safer. I obviously want to put double Curious Obsession, but I think it'll be safer to wreck their plan here. And it could be a Flame Sweep or something. It could be their Mana Dork, Lava Coil, that. Counter it if it's red or green. I guess we'll just do a regular old counter. And then hope that... Oh, triple Curious Obsession, that is... Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Let's see if they rage quit off of this. Because that is a 4/4. Obviously can still easily be killed, but I get to draw 3 cards off of it. I must get good stuff off of it. Not really. Okay, well, let's see if they don't have another 4 damage red spell. Nope. Okay, that is great. Because I get to do 4 more damage in the air, draw 4 cards, and their will to live will be drained. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. There we go. 4 in total. Yeah, keep that. Ripjaw, yes, it's just so mean sometimes, this blue deck. And that's it. Yep, there it is right there. Ooh, I was doing 5 damage at a time and drawing 3 cards, so very mean. But when you're on the ladder, and it all matters, there's no mercy. Obviously, I want mercy when they're wrecking me, but... Alright, so we got that. First game went very well, second game was completely weird, and third game they realized that I had a lot of advantage. I had full cards in hand, I was going to draw 3 more, I had a 5/5 flyer. They made their choice. Alright, so how are we here? Okay, we got 1 of them, very good. We got 1 of the golds and the XP. We're 19 out of 45 on that. I'm going to keep playing a little bit more. As we can see here on my schedule, we've got various things to do. We're currently in the gold digging phase of it. I'm just trying to get my gold for the day. But I also want to jazz things up a little bit, let's look at also a couple of vintage cards. And everyone there in the chat, I ask you to pick a number between, what did I say last time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pick a number between 1 and 9. And I will reach over to my wall. I think you can see it better over here. I can reach over here to my wall of magic cards out of one of those notebooks over there. And then from 1 through 9, I'll pick one of those and we'll look at a couple of those vintage cards. Or maybe you can pick, show me the white one or the purple one or the blue one. Pick a number between 1 and 9, or pick a color. And I'll grab one from over there and we'll look at a couple of vintage cards from back in the day. So we've got to vote for number 6. Okay, any more votes? Number 6, we got to vote for number 4. All right, any more votes? We have a few people hanging out in the chat, perhaps a few people lurking. This is the point where you jump up and shout, number 4, number 2, number X. So, we've got to vote for number 6 and a vote for number 4. Okay, so here's how we'll do this. We'll use the advanced random number generator to pick one of your two answers. We're going to say even is Stephen and odd is Aloxodd. That's how we'll remember. Even is Stephen and odd is Tiny Truffle. So random number generator, which is my dice right here. 1 to 20, right? 20-sided die. I'm going to roll this, and then what number it is will be even or odd, and then your pick will determine which one we get over there. So I'm going to do it over here on my other camera, the one right over here, and then we've got a drawing that we'll look at a little bit later. But okay, here we go. I'm going to do the... How can you see it over here? Okay, so here we go. We're going to shake it up, and then random number generator, even or odd. We got a... Where did it go? Here it is. The topmost number is the 18. So if we put it directly below the camera, you'll see right there. 18 is the top number, which is even. And we said that it was even for Stephen. So you had picked, there you go, your lucky number 6 was the one. So let's look at notebook number 6. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6. Didn't we pick this one last time already? I thought we picked 6 already last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I know which one this is. Yeah, I think we picked this one already last time, but I guess we'll pick other cards from it. So let's look at a couple of these vintage cards from this notebook of back in the day. Last time when we looked at this, I'm pretty sure we picked number 6 last time as well, because this is Visions. We were looking at Visions or Mirage. No, yeah, never mind. It was we looked at. I guess it was number 5. It was it was purple. Yeah, this is different. Okay, so let me pick out one of these random ones. Okay, cool. This is Honorable Passage. This is amazing old vintage art. So these are cards from the 90s. This is Visions. I'm sure this will focus in a moment. There we go. Kind of. So there it is. So this is Honorable Passage. We have a couple of warriors really battling it out. This is from Visions, the second set in the Mirage block. So instant. Prevent all damage to you or target creature from any one source. If that source is red, this is back when the colors really hated each other. White really hated red. If that source is red, Honorable Passage deals to the source's controller an amount of damage equal to the amount of damage prevented. Ooh, okay, so if the opponent was hitting me with like a really powerful like fireball, like a 7 damage fireball, I would play this and it would stop the 7 damage, and the 7 damage would go back to the person casting it. Or let's say a big old red dragon was coming at me. I play this and it prevents all that damage, and then the damage goes back to the opponent. So they don't make him like this anymore. And I have it double sleeved, so I think this is relatively valuable. And by that I mean like $5 or something. I don't think it's big bucks, but we can look it up. But Honorable Passage, so for 2 mana, instant, you stop all damage, and if it's red, you hit them back. They don't make them like that anymore. And the artist is Jeff Miracola, and this is from 1996. Can you believe that? 24 years ago, if my math is right, 24 years ago, this card was printed back in the day. I don't remember playing with it, but I have it in my collection. And what we will do here is let's take a quick look at the modern look at it. Honorable Passage. How many honorable Magic cards exist? Only 2 cards exist in the world of Magic with the word honorable. One is Honorable Scout. One is Honorable Package. Hard to believe that when you turned 6 it was 20 years ago. Yeah, time flies. You look back and then suddenly things change. Oh, well, I guess not really valuable. 15 cents. I don't know why I thought this one was valuable, but I double sleeved it for some reason. I know why, because it's... Yeah, why did I double sleeve this? I don't know. I guess it's because it's pretty cool art. So the original printing was an uncommon, and then later they printed a gold border. They don't print those anymore. A gold border version, and then they printed the time spiral version, and it was rare. They made it rare because it's so good. So the printing... The text is slightly different in the old version and in the new version. Now the new version says, the next time a source of your choice would deal damage to any target this turn prevent. Interesting. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to any target. Well, nowadays you can use this in like Commander, where one opponent is about to deal damage to another opponent, and you can play this and stop that. It's no longer what is hitting you. Nowadays it's even better. You can stop damage anywhere. If damage from a red source is prevented this way, Honorable Passage deals that much damage to the source's controller. So you can definitely do a little bit of Commander politics and say, oh, you're about to get hit with a big old red dragon, I'll stop it and then do the damage to you back, but then you have to do something for me. So wow, that's how it is now. Back then, I wish it was blue or black. I'm sure there's similar things in those colors. Although back at this time, when the color, the design of the colors was a little different, back then it really was that, right? If you look at the back of a Magic card, the color wheel, the color pie, the opposite-sided colors were enemies, so white versus black, white versus red, that's how it was. There were very few cards that were beneficial. And then, you know, blue, opposite over there is green, opposite is red, so those were definitely enemy colors. Nowadays, everyone's friends, every color helps each other somewhat. But back then, it was definitely that these cards were enemies. So blue or black, as we see here, in black, black is next to red, so they're actually friendly colors. So there's that, and then black is next to blue, so they're friendly colors. Blue is enemy with red, so that's why perhaps they might not have them in these colors, but I'm sure there's a version of them in those colors. But anyway, that's Jeff Miracola art, and that's one of the vintage cards we'll look at a few more. That reminds me, so question for the chat, what are your favorite colors of playing in Magic? Yeah, I think we did. You know what? Yeah, we did, because I see Jamoran Lion. We did talk about these already, but okay, I'll pick other ones. Here's a blue one, Desertion. I'll just load it up here because it's hard to focus on my camera. Desertion. So yeah, this is, we'll look at the classic one from Visions. Oh, I see they reprinted it recently-ish. Okay, so ooh, this one's $3.50. This is the one I should double sleeve. So here we have Desertion. Amazing art by Richard Kane Ferguson, one of my favorite artists. This beautiful painterly style, very artistic, very mannered, very detailed and dreamy. Counter target spell. If that spell is an artifact or summon spell, put that card into play under your control. So you get to counter a spell and steal it if it was a creature or an artifact, because the modern text is counter target spell. If an artifact or creature spell, because they're not summon spells anymore, if an artifact or creature spell is countered this way, put that card into the battlefield under your control instead of its owner's graveyard. Very pretty art. I love this artist. And see, this is a blue spell you need to get there, Alex. This is, you're going to counter the opponent's amazing creature, and you're going to steal that creature, and it's going to join your squad instead. Although it is, if you get the old one, it's 350. If you get the most recent one with the new border, it's 284. The Commander's Arsenal. So this never had different art. It was always the same art, which is cool because it's Richard Kane Ferguson art. It is 5 mana, but obviously when you're playing the longer sort of game, you'll have the mana for it. Okay. We'll look at one of each of the colors, then we'll get back to some gameplay. Ooh, here's a fun one, more for the art. Dark Privilege. Dark Privilege. So check out that art. The cool demonic guy with a cup of blood. No, we're gonna say it's a cup of Kool-Aid, but it's a cup of something. Dark Privilege. 2 mana. Enchant a creature. Nowadays it's an enchantment, aura. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. Sacrifice that creature, sacrifice any creature, regenerate enchanted creature. Okay, so you make one of your creatures stronger, and then you sacrifice another creature to regenerate the enchanted creature so that it doesn't actually die. And in the flavor text, as you breathe your last, understand why I accept such forbidden gifts. And that's Pourage of Urborg. So pretty epic art. That's by Tom Kiffin. This was only ever printed in Visions. It's 25 cents. It's tomato juice, maybe. And yeah, regeneration. They don't print regeneration anymore. It's a little confusing. It doesn't work the same as it used to. Nowadays, when you regenerate a creature, you then tap it. Back in my day, you didn't tap the creature, but now you do. I was playing Commander recently online, and I regenerated my Will-O-the-Wisp, and then they said, oh yeah, don't forget to tap it. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. Nowadays you tap them. Okay, let's look at a red spell. Let's check out these tough-looking guys over here. This is Dwarven Vigilantes. How many Vigilante cards exist? Vigilante. 4 Vigilante cards. Ooh, this one looks cool. But anyway, this is the one I pulled right here. Dwarven Vigilantes. 3 mana. Summon dwarves. Nowadays, creature dwarf. If Dwarven Vigilante attacks and is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal no combat damage. If you do, Dwarven Vigilantes deals an amount of damage equal to its power to target creature. Alright, so if this doesn't get blocked, instead it deals damage to a creature that you want. So let's say they've got their Llanowar Elf or their Mana Dork or whatever, and of course they're not going to block with it. So then this is going to come through and hit the opponent. But then you say, haha, the Vigilante will actually deal damage directly to this other creature. So modern wording. Whenever Dwarven Vigilantes attacks and isn't blocked, you may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature. If you do, this assigns no damage. So that's funny. That's funny how they took the old wording and it's still the same, but then they just flipped it. Some dwarves can only be pushed so far. That's by Pete Venters. Only ever printed in Visions. 10 cents. So this is how you play this. You put the Dark Bargain, that +1/+1, you put that Dark Bargain on these, so then now they're a 3/3, and then if they get unblocked, then they deal the 3 damage. Okay, here's another perfect Commander card. You're going to go attack one of the opponents that has no blockers, and then you use this to instead deal that 2 damage to some other creature that wasn't even part of the battle. And then your opponents will call you a backstabber. Anyway, the next card, the final card for the moment in green. Okay, this one's cool. It's kind of one of the most violent arts I've ever seen. but it's the law of the jungle. Mortal Wound. So here we have this little beast wolf thing with cute horns and totally ripping apart some other poor little creature. But again, it's the circle of life. Okay, so Mortal Wound. 1 green, enchant aura, enchant a creature. If damage is dealt to enchanted creature, destroy it. If damage is dealt to enchanted creature. What? If damage is dealt to enchanted creature, destroy it. Oh, okay, you put it on your opponent's creature. Let's say it's a 10-10. And then you enchant the 10-10. So all you have to do is block with a 1-1 and the 10-10 dies. When enchanted creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Yeah, so it's kinda not death touch, it's like negative death touch. You're supposed to enchant your opponent's scary creature, and whatever amount of damage gets dealt to that creature, however it gets dealt, then that creature dies. You think you might have heard of it? It's only ever been printed in Visions, which is 1996, so maybe it's somewhere you saw an old copy of it. Flavor text. Their tears spill over Jamura. Mixed with blood, they wash everything red. And this is from the love song of Night and Day. So what was cool about that was Magic in the beginning, they had quotes from real things like Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, the Quran, the Bible. They had like real quotes back in the day, as well as quotes that they made up. They started to eventually move away from real world quotes, and now it's all quotes from the world of Magic. And one of the first like lore that they created was this, the love song of Night and Day. It was a poem of like 15 lines that they sprinkled throughout the flavor text of the 3 sets in this block: Mirage, Visions, and Weatherlight. So it was, we can even look it up right here because someone compiled them all, and it was like one of their first. It was one of their, yeah, they have it right here officially on the Wizards website. So here it is right here. So all of this, oh, it's longer than I thought. Is the love song of Night and Day a real poem? Yes, it's a real poem. Jenny Scott created it, and here's the full poem. So okay, some of these were in cards, and then some of them were not. So basically, it's an endless right here. So for example, here's Mortal Wound right there. So this was a poem that was written about, you know, 2 people in love, the love song of Night and Day, and their tragic love, because, you know, the moon and the sun, they never appear at the same time, kind of. And the this poem was about that their love. So it's the full thing right here, but pieces of it were put in various cards. So that's cool. You were looking for a similar card like this a while back. It's cool that there's such a variety of cards that do things in different colors. And finding it for your perfect deck. The artist is Kev Walker. Back then he was called Kevin Walker. Nowadays he's Kev Walker, and he still does magic art nowadays. A lot of the vintage artists haven't done cards in a little while. And if we look here, over here, he recently did Approach of the Second Sun. He did all of these cool, he did many of these cool Ikoria creatures. He did some of these Planeswalkers. He did that Dead Weight, Recent Pacifism, Questing Beast. Ooh, Field of the Dead, everyone hates that one. Goblin Champion. Yeah, so Kev Walker. Back in the day, he was Kevin, Sir Kevin Walkerford. And now he is Kev Walker. All right, so those were some vintage cards. We'll look at a few more a little bit later. Let's get back to the game. Let's earn a little bit more of that gold. We'll take a break a little bit. I'm surprised our usual crew isn't here, but I appreciate everyone that is currently here. You make the stream worthwhile. Talking and chatting and strategizing and tragedies and triumphs with people is way better than a solitary game. Can't wait to get back in person and play some games in person, but in the meantime, playing some Arena, having you all in the chat is nice. So, waiting for an opponent. Arena is trying to match me with someone. My deck is way too mean, so they're trying to match me with someone that can take it. Canis Major. Sometimes people think of such cool names. Speaking of which, if I may ask, Alex, how did you decide on your name and your sort of like brand? I know I've seen that character for years, and I've seen that name, that persona. See, I'm very creative. I chose VM Campos, and oh man, fine. So yeah, where did that come from? I know I've seen that character back when you were taking the Adobe Animate class. I remember that character was. Was it when you were taking the class, or were you playing it on the side? Or were you playing it on the? Or were you doing it on the side as you were assisting? Putting the cake in the oven and doing all that good stuff. You like chocolate truffles and you like bats. That's a good answer. They really want to Thoughtseize me. Fine. It's pausing for something. That's probably their own counterspell. Okay, so we're gonna be playing a very annoying opponent. Ooh, they got the brand new Kaldheim sleeve. Pay 1, sure. Reading the card explains the card. But anyway, they got the Kaldheim sleeve. This is a brand new sleeve that just became available because the next set that's coming out is like this heavy metal Viking set coming. That's the next set next year, the first set next year. And the style is this heavy metal Viking style. So I'm going to get that sleeve in just a moment when I enter the event. And then Kaya's Wrath. Sure. Any target? What do you want to target? Fine, I'll take that back and draw a card. Let's see if that'll live. So this is a very interesting opponent. They're not really doing much. It looks like they're playing a weird control deck. Ah, man, they're gonna replay that again. Fine. So they're playing a really weird control deck that just doesn't really do anything until they get their big ol' companion, I guess. Because no one plays that card. That doesn't do anything. But they're trying to do that. So, okay. They can play that again, sure. You had no idea for a business project, and you drew a random character to help focus the business idea. That's what that might come from. One idea leading to another idea. Come on, opponent, what are you going to do? Counter spell where I have to pay for it? Okay, fine, there we go. And I get a land. Okay, so this is going to be a very weird opponent. I do have the Essence Capture. Well, I've got to play this. They'll probably have... one of their spells where they can look at my hand, although they can see it very obviously right there that I have it. Let's see if they don't try to bring in their... Well, if they try to bring it in... 3, 4, 5. Okay, they have... Yeah, they're probably gonna first. Okay, don't care. And you stuck with you into Adobe Animate. Alright, so... Yeah, this is a very weird opponent. What do we need to do in the sideboard? Just more counter spells, I guess, or luck? I don't think it's going to be too useful to play this. But that'll just get more things out of their hand. Another flicker. Yeah, what is the opponent up to? And I'm just getting a bunch of lands. Amazing. Okay. Well, I'll have to wait here. They'll probably have enough lands by now to play their companion, and also double Narsets. Okay, what are they going to get here? They're gonna grab something. That's a Thoughtseize. They're gonna grab the Thoughtseize out of my hand. They still have enough to play the Yorion, so then that gets me. They're just gonna blink their thing. Okay, yeah, let's start over here. They have everything that they need. And I was getting bad draws again. Okay, let's go again. You ran into Art Block this year for 3 months until recently. So you had Writer's Block. I don't think that blink is going to do anything. Okay, so clearly we're going to get turn 1 Thoughtseize. If they play first, they're going to have turn 1 Thoughtseize. And if I play first, I play first. I'm going to need a turn 1 Spell Pierce. That is a turn 1 Spell Pierce. Okay, let's see here if all of the RNG works perfectly. Because they clearly want to Thoughtseize me on turn 1 and remove something out of my hand, but I have an answer for it. So, fine. Let's bring out a little Terramander. Very surprising that they didn't mulligan down to like a turn 1 Thoughtseize or something. They probably have an Eliminate here. Cast down or something. 2 mana kill spell. Nope, an Omen, which I guess that doesn't matter. Because I can counter the important thing. So I wonder what their name is about. Vi Canis Major. Seems pretty fancy. Alright, so if they bring out that if I can bring out that Tempest Djinn, that will live. Maybe. Okay, so it's still pausing with 1 black. Could that be some kill spell? Let's see. Nope, that needs 3. Okay, double those, sure. They get to scry, draw a card. I have 1 mana for 1. Spell Pierce or Dive Down. Let's see. They probably have some kind of removal. They could have that Kaya's Wrath, although it won't really do much. Well, I could counter that. Okay, let's see what we get. So they keep 2 on the top, they draw 1. And they've got 3 mana. Got 4 mana. They're not gonna waste my time. If I had my counter spell to counter their land, that would have been amazing. That would have been an automatic concede. Okay, double black. They have the cute little frost cat. Check it out. If you try to pet it, it says like, "Don't even touch me." Thought Erasure. I guess. So I guess the dive down would be better for them to grab. And that takes their turn. Okay, fine. Let's do more damage. Let's bring out another attacker. I have double dive down to protect 2 creatures. Alright. 5 mana. The details on Kaya do not care. I want to hit that Pteramander, but I can protect it. They have 2 black mana left. I mean, 2 mana left. Are they going to blink their thing? They're going to negate that. Sure, fine. Use up all of your counter spells. And whoops, that's 1 more dive down. And I think what I need to do is keep in hand that it makes it look like I've got... Okay, I'm going to pretend that I've got 1 more counter spell, although I don't think they're going to fall for it because it's just 1 mana. But anyway, I've got a lot of attackers. Hopefully they didn't put all my eggs in one basket and then they like shatter the sky. They're going to Yorion. Okay, they're going to bounce back. Fine. They're going to bounce back everything. They're going to do 3 damage to the Pteramander. That's fine. They're going to scry 4 times. That's fine, but that uses up their turn. I'm going to have 2 5/5s attacking. Three, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully they can't do anything with 1 final blue mana. Bottom both. Okay, so here we go. This might be game over for them because they're going to block 1. And then we're going to make this one get big. And then that's 10 damage. Alright. It went from smole to swole. I know some people say small, but if you want the rhyme to work, you have to say smole. How do you say it? Smole or small? S-M-O-L, you know? I say smole. Alright, so we'll just see if we keep getting good luck here. They did not have their turn 1 Thoughtseize, which of course I would have thought they did. Let's see what we get. Trying to be impressive with that Ugin. Okay, turn 1. So they get their first turn actually. So let's assume they have a Thoughtseize turn 1, and I get a horrific opening hand. So let's see if this is game over. This is still not amazing, but I guess that tail's end is close enough. Not really great here. Okay, turn 1 Thoughtseize are going to take my tail's end. Oh, I guess not. Okay, turn 2 Thoughtseize are going to take my tail's end. Or Thought Erasure or whatever. Of course, if they drop black mana, it has to be... There it is, of course. So what are they gonna take? Huh, that was dumb. Okay, so Tail's End is a... they didn't take that. So let's see what happens. Maybe being on the ladder usually means it's the best players trying to get to the best. Okay, so they're going to triple that. Fine. If they're doing that, they'll probably have one more Thoughtseize or Thought Erasure. They're too far from casting it, so I'm sure they're going to try to sculpt my hand again. Probably the Kaya. If they do the Kaya... okay, so they're doing that. So that's exactly what I'm saying. They're gonna grab that thought. They're gonna grab the Tail's End. So then they're gonna be in there to be able to summon their big creature next turn. But they don't have anything to bounce, and I'm just getting lands. Okay, GG opponent. GG. Alright, so this is the one where I can, they're not... this is so dumb. They're gonna, of course, take the two down ones. And then we've got one of those, which will not help us. Well, they might be dumb enough to play the Yorion and then bounce back their... okay, so they'll probably do that. They'll probably bring their Yorion to bounce back their Altris, Tiris, whatever this is called, to get that effect one more time. They're going to Thoughtseize me instead. So once again, they're just trying to get that, clear the road for... huh, okay, so they've got a kill spell for my 2/2 if they took that. Yeah, this opponent's very weird deck. Haven't seen anyone play with this. I know they're going to blink it back with that other white spell. There we go, Flicker of Fate. But wait a minute. Oh, it just puts it into play. It doesn't recast it. Never mind. Alright, so I definitely don't want to give them that freaking Deteperiod. Well, and I can counter it, but whatever. This has not been the best third game. Aha, they got double lands. Well, I guess they needed a land. Never mind. I guess that was good for them. Alright, well, they'll probably block it here because they're down to 10 life. They might get greedy though, and they've got... yeah, they're going to block it. So take that. Okay, so now they don't have anything to bounce back with Yorion, so they're gonna cast their Narset and see what's coming. Hopefully not removal. That is removal. Okay. Of course they have enough to play it. Alright, if they have one more, like, Thought Erasure or whatever, then I'm done, because they've just been pulling... yeah, there's that Thought Erasure. Okay, well, GG, opponent. They got everything that they needed. Alright, might be a good time for a break. Let's take a break. I am... getting closer to today's gold, and we'll be back. So BRB, less, probably like 5 minutes or so. Alright everyone, we are back. Sorry it took a little bit longer than I thought. I see Tiny Truffle headed off for the night. Well, if you're still there, thanks for coming to hang out. We do this every Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. It was nice having you there. Whoops, I forgot to turn off the light over there. Let me turn off that light. Sorry about that. And then we'll continue the stream. All right, thank you for that. So it took a little longer than I wanted because I was making myself a grown-up beverage, and this is the very first time I've ever made this one. So this is it's kind of like eggnog, kind of. It's the first time I ever make it. It's called what was it called again? Bourbon milk punch. Old-fashioned bourbon milk punch. So it's kind of like eggnog because it's got flavors of, it's got sweetened condensed milk, it's got cinnamon, it's got nutmeg, and then the alcohol. So in this case, it was supposed to be 2 shots of bourbon, but I only had 1, so I put bourbon plus brandy. It reminds you a lot of nutmeg, not as thick as nutmeg. But it feels like those holiday flavors, so I think that came out pretty well. Let's get back to the game. Getting closer to the gold of the day, then we'll crack a pack over here in the store, and then we'll see about entering the tournament. There's a brand new tournament going on at the moment. I'm going to change my music also. There's a little bit too low key. Switch over to... Let's put it under the, let's see how metal is. Put it on metal for a little while. So the Polish jackhammer is my opponent. So I'm a little surprised we don't have a lot of people hanging out today. Mark's not here, and Gabe isn't here, unless, you know, I'm not looking at people. I'm not looking at the screen that tells me everyone's names. But if they are lurking, I welcome you nonetheless. I think everyone's getting ready for the holidays or something, so they're not able to visit. All right, so what does the opponent have? A sword tooth. Yeah, let's slow that down. Fun. Oh, look, there's a little bug right there. It's making the color on that Curious Obsession. Do you see that? It's kind of glowing in a weird way that it's not supposed to. Yeah, look at that. Hovering over it makes it do that, and then hovering it over here. Oh, man. They are going to damage that, but actually I can protect it. Hey, Mark, we were just talking about how the usual crew is not here. But I think you... Oh, man, they quit. Okay. Anyway, so I had just come back from my break, and I fixed myself a brand new drink that I've never fixed before. It is the recipe was called Old-Fashioned Milk Punch. So it's vaguely like eggnog. It's got cinnamon, nutmeg, sweetened condensed milk, and bourbon. It was supposed to be 2 shots of bourbon, but I only had 1 shot of bourbon left, so then I put the other shot as Brandy. Oh, that walking stick. So I guess this music's got voice. Let me change this to no lyrics. Actually, wait, no lyrics over here. So it might be too distracting with some. I put it on the heavy metal station, so these metal heads might be more distracting than my gameplay. Only one side left to carve. That sounds pretty cool. I do remember seeing the walking stick a weekend or two ago and how impressive it looked. Very intricate. What were the tools you were using for that? Like no Dremels or anything, right? It was maybe some picks or whatever the terms of them are. Oh man, missed the land drop. So this drink is pretty good. I think all of the however, all of the nutmeg and the cinnamon are separating a bit. I can see it going to the bottom of the drink. Well, the opponent has 1,000,000 mana, but I don't. Oh man, that cannot be countered. Okay, fine. The only way I can deal with that Carnage Tyrant is with an Aether Gust. Which I have in the sideboard. So are they trying to get a Galta next? No, they're trying to get an Atali. No attacks. My little old merfolk is holding back. A Carnage Tyrant, Chisel, and Dremel. Oh, so I was a Dremel like I thought. Are you then going to stain it? Or are you then going to stain it or do anything else with it? Yeah, look at that. I'm holding back my opponent with my plain old 3/3. Hilarious. Okay. Stain and varnish. Okay, well, what am I gonna do here? So they might attack with that 7/6. I can take it. It's gonna decrease it. That might give them like a big old priest. Okay, that's not that useful, although they do have, yeah, they have plenty of mana to activate the priest. So what are they going to go get? Well, they have to pay all that mana, but then they have to pay the mana to summon the dino. Okay, getting very close to dead. Yeah, are they gonna go? They can. That's instant speed, so they could. Oh man, fine. If it wasn't for that Carnage Tyrant, I think I would have been in better position, but. So Regisaur. But it's the end of their turn. Yeah, we're not gonna make it. Let's go to the next round. Okay, so Carnage Tyrant is not counterable, but I do have a countermeasure, which is the Aether Gust. So Aether Gust should do its thing. Terramander's too puny. Take out a couple of Djinns, Tails, and maybe, no, actually, Carnage Tyrant is mono green. Okay, Tails ends, I guess. Alright, so as we can see here on our schedule, we're still in the gold digging aspect of things. It's been kind of a long quest for the gold. We looked at a couple of vintage cards in the middle just to jazz things up, and then we'll do the... Notice we have here the Arena Open instead of a draft. We might even do the draft, we'll see. There's a big tournament happening this weekend for actual real cash money. And I want to join it, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, opponent, good job. You win through Mana Screw. Okay, so let's try the next one. And how close are we to the gold? Today's gold. Oh, we got it. Okay, so then let's look at a couple more vintage cards, and we'll play the tournament. Here is the cane so far, the walking stick. Alright, let's take a quick look at that walking stick web browser. So here are the latest shots. Very intricate. Look at that detail. And of course the kids' names. What kind of wood did you say this was again? Wood that had enough grain and that you can get in there. That's like 1 millimeter, right? It's less than 1 millimeter of space in between each of the chains, or what's the official name of the pattern. You can even get, because other kind of wood would have splintered, right? When you were doing the E right there, that's such, this kind of wood didn't splinter at that point. A Celtic knot. That's what I was thinking, unless I was having a memory from before. I thought it was some sort of Celtic style, yeah. Alright, so then the other one, more on that. It looks very dramatic with the lighting. So you can see the You can see getting into the wood. Very cool, thanks for sharing that. So we have here documented all of the progress. All right, so let's look at a couple of vintage cards, and then we'll play the tournament. Here's one. How many Uktabi things existed? There's a few of them, but here's Uktabi Ifrit. I remember this one. Alan Rabinowitz. This is one of these artists that I really like. This is one of those artists that I was saying that it was like a lot of realism compared to other artists of the period. So this is from Weatherlight, 1997. Cumulative upkeep. Okay, so you get a 5/4 for 4 mana. It is obviously way too strong. So they have a cumulative upkeep. And it's not just a generic mana cost, as many of the cumulative upkeeps were. This has a green cumulative upkeep. The Uktabi Ifrit and I have something in common. Both of our mothers wanted to give us back. And that was Miri of the Weatherlight. So back then it said cumulative upkeep. You had to read the manual to explain what that was. But then here now they explain. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on this permanent. Then sacrifice it, unless you pay its upkeep cost for each age counter on it. So that's the Uktabi Ifrit. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go from green back to white. Then we'll get into the next gameplay, so Uktabi Ifrit. But again, quick side note, Alan Rabinowitz was one of the ones that I remember. Their art was like some of the coolest, most realistic that I had seen. Back in the old days. Your tablet is doing the blurry thing. Okay, we'll be here. So they weren't as realistic. Alan wasn't as realistic as he later became, because here in Homelands, Wall of Kelp, someone was actually playing this in the Commander game I played recently. But then what like really stood out as realistic was Reality Ripple. I thought that looked extremely realistic. Sirocco is very realistic. I never had this one. I still don't think I have one of those. Unseen Walker, amazing. Oh yeah, this Nature's Lore I thought was extremely realistic. There's Gauntlets of Chaos. And that Uktabi Ifrit was one of the ones that I thought was so realistic. Okay, so we'll look at some red cards. Let's see what's an interesting red card. This is the one that I saw some commentary that said they invented dabbing before dabbing in this pose. Lava Storm. So right there, it's doing the dab, right? Lava Storm. So 5 mana, instant. Lava Storm deals 2 damage to each attacking creature, or 2 damage to each blocking creature. Storm, modern wording. Lava Storm deals 2 damage to each attacking creature, or Lava Storm deals 2 damage to each blocking creature. That's funny. They say lava conquers all. Ah, that's funny. They're trying to do the love conquers all quote, but then they say lava. Yeah, with this drink, definitely the nutmeg and the cinnamon get stuck at the bottom. I shouldn't quite be swirling it over my cards. I think it's starting to work. Scott Kirshner. What else did Scott do? Oh yeah, Armor Thrall. Love that one. Armor Sliver, Armor Thrall. Ooh, he did Axelrod Gunnarsson. Another Sliver. Bone Dancer, that was amazing art. Deadly Insect, I remember that one. Energy Bolt. Fog Bank with a couple of dinosaurs. Ooh, Grave Pact. Goblin Recruiter, I remember that one, I love that art. Hibernation with like some armadillos or pangolins or something. Oh yeah, Hymn to Torok, he did that one. Acacian Javelineers. I mean, you know, the Wastes, I've got that one in my vintage Commander deck. And Mannequin. Yeah, cool. Ooh, Phantasmal Fiend, I remember that when they used to do multiple arts in one set. What do you all think about this there in the chat? What do you think if they had multiple arts? Well, they already kind of do, don't they? But what I mean, back in the day, in some of the early sets, they used to put different alternate arts in the set. And now, yes, we've got the regular one, plus the full art and showcase ones and all of that. Well, I guess it's kind of moot nowadays, but back in the day, you had like 2 totally different arts for something. So which do you like here better, the close-up of the Fiend or like the full body of the Fiend? Okay, let's go with black. Here's a cool one. Spinning Darkness. How many cards have the word spinning? Clock Spinning, Spinning Darkness, Spinning Wheel, only 3. Okay, here it is. So Spinning Darkness. 6 mana. You enjoy collecting alternate art cards. You love Magic went back to that. So do I. I think that would be kind of cool to put just different arts. Okay, so Spinning Darkness. You may remove the top 3 black cards in your graveyard from the game instead of paying the casting cost. This deals 3 damage to target non-black creature. And you gain 3 life. Okay, so after Force of Will, in alliances, they were playing with casting costs. With Force of Will, exile a blue card, lose a life, and then play Force of Will for free. And here, they are kind of doing it on that cycle, but instead you have to sort of dredge. But it has to be black cards. Modern wording. You may exile the top 3 black cards of your graveyard rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Spinning Darkness deals 3 damage to... Yes, this is the same thing nowadays. Some errata. The top card of your graveyard is the card that was put there most recently. Players may not rearrange the cards in their graveyards. This is a little known rule because new cards that care about graveyard order haven't been printed in years. If an effect or rule puts 2 or more cards in the graveyard at the same time, you choose. The last thing that happens to a resolving instant or sorcery is that it's put into its graveyard. For example, you cast Wrath of God, all creatures in the battlefield are destroyed, you arrange all the cards put into the graveyard this way in any order you want. The other players in the game do the same thing, then you put Wrath of God. Say you're the owner of both a permanent and an aura that's attached. If both permanent and the aura are destroyed at the same time, you decide the order they're put into the graveyard. If just the enchanted permanent is destroyed, it's put into the graveyard first, then after that the aura is put. Oh, that's interesting. So if the thing got killed, you put the thing, then the enchantment, but if they both get killed at the same time, you put them in the order that you want. Yeah, cards haven't been printed in a while that care about the order of the graveyard. But remember this one, Mark? Spinning Darkness, 6 mana. You may remove the top 3 black cards from your graveyard from the game instead of paying the casting cost. This deals 3 damage to target non-black creature. You gain 3 life. So that was after the cycle of Force of Will, where it had the alternate casting cost. Discard a blue card, lose a life, play Force of Will for free. And this one was, instead of paying 6, dredge 3 black cards away. And you pay this, you can play for free, and then it's 3 damage. John Coolheart. What else did they draw? 23 cards. Ooh, Blind Fury, I remember that one. Alternate art for Carrion Ants. Dark Ritual, oh yeah, the Mirage Dark Ritual, love that one. Hands of Death. Destroy any one creature that isn't black. And that's from Sorcery. Ooh, Howl from Beyond. He did the new, quote, new Howl from Beyond art. I still think like the, 5th edition art is the new art. Because we, of course, remember the classic ABU art with the little wolf. Right, if we go back, oh, not the wolf, but the howling guy. The wolf is Ice Age. Right there, the wolf. Alright, so here's a battle of the Howls from Beyond. What does everyone think? Which is the best art? This weird creature guy screaming at you, Howl from Beyond, or the little wolf howling with evil eyes and green energy, or the there's another one, or the 5th edition werewolf guy howling, or the 7th edition weird creature eating a skull or something. I don't remember seeing this one. That'd be kind of cool as a collector to get all of the various versions of Howl from Beyond. It's not that many. I already have a 4th edition art. I have an Ice Age art. I'm not sure if I've got a 5th edition art, and I definitely don't have a 7th edition one. Probably. We gotta vote for the original, of course, for the nostalgia, and then we've got the wolf one. I kind of like the wolf one a little bit better than the original. Obviously, I saw the original first. Rugissement de l'au-delà. I was seriously considering buying a soul ring recently. A international soul ring. Because obviously the revised soul ring is white border, and I wanted a black border, so I was thinking, but this is way too expensive. I was thinking of buying a French or an Italian one, but that's $47, 38 euros. This one, I was looking at this one hard, but it's way too beat up. Look at those edges. 22 euros. And this one's $53. This one is French, Italian. $53 for one of these. Aggiungi 2 punti di mana incolore alla tua riserva. Tale abilità viene utilizzata con la velocità di un interusione. So I know Spanish and Italian is close enough that I can fake it. Anello solare. Soul ring black border from 4th edition. So actually I think it's from Renaissance, which is kind of 4th edition. I think I saw, oh yeah, then there's a German one too. This one's signed by Mark Tedin himself. Stock deinen manövrat do fablos. I don't know German at all. So I think those are the ones that I saw, but these are way too expensive. And even like a beat up one is way too expensive. $107. This better be delivered by Richard Garfield himself. Guess the quality's pretty good. But yeah, that's what I was looking at on eBay the other day. I ended up just getting a plain old revised one, and it was in a great condition. So if I never had one back in the day, so full screen. I never had one, but now I do. So I've got a revised soul ring in a very good condition. It was like a third of those prices that you're seeing there, but I never cracked very many revised packs, so I never got one. Mark Tedin, 3rd edition or revised soul ring in like 90% quality or higher, so I'm happy about that. for my when we get back into playing in real life to play my vintage commander deck. All right, we'll look at a couple more cards that we'll play. We were on black. Okay, let's look at a blue card. We're looking at Weatherlight at the moment. 1997. What's a good blue card in this time? Oh, how about this pretty one right here? Well, there's two that I like. We'll go with this one. Phantom Wings. Phantom Wings. This was printed a few, not that one. Weatherlight, here we go. Reprinted in Betrayers of Kamigawa. Cute little ibexes or something. Enchant creature gains flying. Sacrifice this, return enchanted creature to its owner's hand. So you enchant a creature, you give it flying, then you sacrifice the enchantment, you can bounce it back to your hand to save it. But you said, when goats fly, squee-wind. So, okay, I guess they're goats. So that's kind of interesting. Like, this is kind of like a very gentle type of art, and then like in Betrayers of Kamigawa you have this like totally evil looking demonic thing with red evil wings. This is definitely the time when Magic was very much more like a boys game, even though obviously girls have always played it. But I read like some documentation about how Wizards was really trying to get just like, you know, the male demographic, so let's put sexy girls on it and all of that. And now they're a little bit more inclusive, which is cool because obviously more people playing more Magic is good. But this is definitely the time. So going from like this cool, like very well drawn, pretty goats into like a totally badass monster coming at you. Many kami could fly, which put some warriors at a distinct disadvantage. The mages of Minamo took it upon themselves to correct that imbalance. Greg Staples always has cool art. A Nava bodyguard rushing at you. Ooh, Abundant Maw, that's pretty scary. Angel's Mercy, that looks amazing. 4 mana, you gain 7 life. Arachnoid. And then this one was Una Freaker. They did 43 cards, a lot of animal cards, cool. Bloated Toad, protection from blue or cycling. Bay Falcon, yeah, I had some of those. Charging Rhino looks more like it's doing a yoga pose than actually charging at you. Coral Eel. Ooh, look at that, that's cool art. Duckmore Bat. 1/1 for 2, flying, drooling, and about to eat a moth. Yeah, Una seemed to have done a lot of. Hey, there's grizzly bears. Una seemed to have drawn a lot of animals in Magic. Monstrous Growth. That's a really chunky squirrel. Let's get a close-up. Look at that chubby squirrel. That monster's trying to say, talk to the hand. Muckrats. River Bear. Striped Bear. Oh, she drew Uktabi Kong and the original Uktabi orangutan. Huh? I never realized. Teferi's Imp. Okay, one more card. We'll get back to the gameplay. Alright, let's close off with some amazing Rebecca Gay art. Angelic Renewal. Angelic Renewal, printed in Weatherlight and Ultimate Masters recently. Okay. Enchantment. If any creatures are put into your graveyard from play, you may bury Angelic Renewal and put one of those creatures into play. Modern wording. Enchantment. Whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may sacrifice Angelic Renewal. If you do, return that card to the battlefield. So it saves your creature if you sacrifice the enchantment. Really cool art. I like that it's slightly off-center, so you get a sense of unbalance. What was Rebecca Gay's first art? Because I know she did Kesa in, was it Ice Age or Alliances? Probably Ice Age. Let's take a quick look here. Let's look at, yeah, Alliances. Noble Steeds, Sustaining Spirit. There we go, Kesa. So she started with Alliances. They're bringing back the, if you haven't heard, they're bringing back a bunch of vintage artists in the Secret Layer Drop series. They're bringing back Phil and Kaya Folio to do new art for an unnamed card yet, as of yet. But if we do a quick news brief, we will see here that they're tapping some vintage artists to draw again. I guess over here. Where did they have that? I guess it's some other article. I don't think I'll be able to find it easily, but I guess anyway, somewhere, I think I know they showed it on a stream, that's why it's not on an actual article here. But they're bringing back some vintage artists, and one of them is Phil and Kaya Folio, one of my favorite artists from back in the day. Let me put this away, then we'll get to some gameplay. Alright, let's do some gameplay. So, what was the tastiest thing that you all had to eat today? Actually, I've got a cracker pack to do first. So, what was the tastiest thing? I made lasagna a couple of days ago, or just yesterday. I made lasagna yesterday, and then there's a brand new sleeve here, the fruit cake golem. It's kind of fun, but I don't want to spend my gold on that. So I made a lasagna yesterday, and I had some earlier today, and it came up pretty nice. I think I'm getting better at making it. What about yourselves? Have anything good to eat today? Alright, so I'm going to enter the Arena Open Day 1. This is a tournament for real money and very high stakes, and I want to give this a shot. So Snack-a-borg of the mini packs of Nutter Butters. Sounds pretty tasty. I don't think I've had one of those, but I gotta check it out. So this is a real tournament. It makes a cool sound. So the best of the best of the best of the best are going to be playing this. But I know with you here, the fans, whatever happens, we'll have fun with it. I'm not going to be playing a tier deck because I want to do my own thing, and I want to be iconoclastic, which of course then decreases my chances of victory. But we will see how this goes. I am going to be playing my Ulamog deck that has gotten me to Mythic. And if things work out well, then they work out well. And I'm going to play with the best of 3. I think I'm going to go with best of 3. I think best of 1 is going to be full of like mono red goblins or something. So hey there, Chance, how are you doing? You joined at the perfect time. Exactly. We're going to play the tournament. You're gonna see me go through the battles and win those $2,000. Let's see. So I'm gonna play best of 3. Let me look at my deck one more time. Here's the deck I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play the Ulamog deck, and this is the one where I'm ultimately trying to get to Ulamog with a lot of ramp. Yes, but I've also got Ugin, which also wins the game, Big Ugin, and Little Ugin, which does stuff to help me win the game, and everything else is ramp. Guardian Idols, Mind Stones, Palladium Mirrors, Power Stones, and then of course some interaction is Shatter the Sky and Wrath of God in case the opponent dares have creatures. Hedron Archive, more ramp, Forsaken Monument gets me life, increases my ramp. So I'm just trying to get to my huge things as fast as possible. I'm playing best of 3, so here's the sideboard. If the opponent has Graveyard Shenanigans, Tormod's Crypt. If the opponent has like a million planeswalkers or some enchantments or some other permanents, Banishing Light. If the opponent is really aggro, okay, Settle the Wreckage or Fumigate to gain me some life. And Karn the Great Creator to turn off their mana rocks, mostly. And then also make my artifacts come to life and hit them a little bit. So that's the idea. So if they got like mono red goblins, Fumigate will gain me back the life, Settle the Wreckage will also wreck them. If they're going very aggro, in the main deck I've got Shatter and Wrath for creatures. What else? What else should we think about here? What are the other archetypes? Well, we've got like Gruul Adventures and Gruul Aggro. Once again, for the sideboard, Banishing Light. That'll get rid of some enchantments and creatures. I think that's what our deck will be, so... let's give it a shot with this, unless anyone has any final thoughts. I'm playing mono white. I'm mostly dealing with creature removal, Settle, Fumigate. To deal with planeswalkers, I've got Banishing Light, or their enchantment, or their artifact, or whatever else. I've got 4 of those. Maybe I should put one more... like Faith's Fetters. Faith's Fetters will also help turn things off, although Prison Realm deals with a creature. I don't know if I need so many Settle the Wreckages. Seal Away, Banishing Light, Conclave Tribunal, Hieromancer's Cage, Ixalan's Binding. It's historic, so I could do Ixalan's Binding and shut down some things. So what's the strategy? The strategy is ramp into Little Ulamog, which will then, Little Ugin, which will help me get into Big Ugin or Ulamog, and Forsaken Monument gives +2 to my Guardian Idol to make it come to life. How about any rocks for more shutdown stuff? Well, that's mostly what the deck is. Guardian Idols, which can come to life as a 2/2, or might be a 4/4 with the Monument. Mind Stone to give me some card draw in case I don't need more mana. Palladium Mirror, more mana ramp, plus it's a 2/2, plus it can become a 4/4 if I've got out the Monument. If I've got the Monument and I'm summoning colorless things, it gives me life. Power Shards, if I get those out, it's better than the Urzatron. Shatter the Sky and Wrath of God to deal with their creatures. if I get milled out, I've played plenty of opponents where they mill me really well, but I'm just able to put together enough mana ramp and so forth that while they're milling me, I get to my planeswalkers or Ulamog. I've dealt with opponents that like do Thoughtseize turn 1 and like Thought Erasure and such, and I can get to what I need. Like mono red goblins is annoying, but that's why I've got the Shatter and the Wrath, and I could switch in the Fumigate, which gives me life when those goblins get killed. No Soul Ring. Well, as soon as they add it to Arena, I'll put Soul Ring in, definitely. And so in the sideboard, we got the Tormod's Crypt. If there's Graveyard Shenanigans, Banishing Light to deal with I've dealt with some decks that are just like all Planeswalkers. So Banishing Light, there's only 4 of them, however, and I'm sure they would have like all 4 of like 4 Planeswalkers. Ixalan's Binding is another removal for Planeswalkers. Settle the Wreck. Do I have too many settles? Let's take one out and put one more Binding. If they're attacking me very aggro, Settle the Wreckage. Karn to turn off their mana rocks. Make mine come to life, and Fumigate. Here's what we'll do. Let's play one game of, without the tournament, let's play one game of that deck on the ladder just to kind of shake the cobweb. This is the deck that I've used before. Remember when all of you saw me get to Mythic? And I think I've also used it the second time to get to Mythic. So I've gotten to Mythic with this deck, but it's all about the matchups and everything, but we'll see. Let's play a random game of someone that is good. We'll see before we get into the tournament to see what possibilities it might be. Okay, play first. And I think I really have to also... I probably also have to think a little bit better about mulliganing. I almost never mulligan with this deck. It just seems to work out. But I guess when you're such a high-level tournament, I guess you should really mulligan better. So that's horrible as well. So... okay, so 2 mulligans down to 5. Not really happy with that, but well, play with what we have. Ooh, they have some of those cool new sleeves, the new tattoo sleeves. Let's take a look at that. So that was one of the secret layer drops. Thoughtseize, okay, there goes Ugin. So that's devastating. Okay, so there we go. So I have nothing in hand. It's, although I do have an attacker with that idol, but 1, 2, 3, 4 for that. They missed the land drop. Guess I'll do a little bit of damage there. Oops, they have a removal. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing a best of 3. They have another removal there then, I guess. Essence. Okay, so this opponent is kind of doing control. They're missing some land drops. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're missing land drops. Well, this is kind of funny, and there's 6 mana for that. Okay, will that live? Yep. And then they're done. Okay. So the opponent has... whatever the 3 colors. I never remember the 3 colors. They have green, black, blue, whatever those colors are. So they have the turn 1 Thoughtseize and such. Besides that, nothing is that great here, I guess. They're gonna try to do removal and counter spells to sculpt my hand until they get enough mana to do their thing. So I don't think these shatters are going to do as much as they should. So let's put in some bindings, because then that stops them from further playing the thing. And as you saw there, well, they missed a bunch of land drops, but you saw there as soon as I landed my Planeswalker, there's another really bad hand, and they go first. So clear, and there's another bad hand. So clearly turn 1, here comes a turn 1 Thoughtseize. So, okay, here comes a turn 2 Thoughtseize. Why am I so pessimistic? Here comes a turn 3 Thought Remorse, Agonizing Remorse. Okay, they're going to do Uro. Alright, well, if I knew that, I would have put in Tormod's Crypt. That would wreck their strategy. Okay, so right here I'm going to get all my lands, but then I don't really have, all my mana, but I don't have much to do with it. Fabled Passage. Okay, so they have an Uro. So if we go to the next, when we go to the next round, okay, so one of those. Here's when I need that Ixalan's Binding, so come on, Ixalan's Binding. That's not an Ixalan's Binding. Alright, so I got all the mana that I need. I can double block one of their lands if they don't have removal. Crisis, sure. I'll bring another land back to life. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 mana if I get an Ulamog. Close enough. Okay. 3, 4, 5. That might be GG. Exactly. Okay, so that's the deck I'm going to play in the tournament. This is not a best sample size of how it'll go, but you saw there. So for the Planeswalkers, I've got the Banishing Light, and I've got the Ixalan's Binding. I've got the Tormod's Crypt for the Uro. I've got the Shatter the Sky or Wrath of God for their creatures. And it's all about me just trying to get as much mana to get to the big scary Planeswalkers or Ulamog. That's the idea with this deck. It's not always going to work, but hopefully we get a good matchup. And we'll see what happens. So let's go for it. Let's enter the Arena Open Day 1. As you can see here, all you have to do is win 4 times, and you qualify for tomorrow. Then tomorrow, if you win there like 7 times or something, you win $2,000 or something. Actually, we can see. Where can we see? Somewhere we can look up what is the full state of the game. Let me take a quick look. What are the full... Let's take a quick look over here before we enter it. So the Arena Open, you must be 18 years old, regional, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Day 1, best of 1 or best of 3, sign up, whatever. Okay, so here's what you win. 7 wins. You must get 7 wins to qualify for Day 2. No, wait, no. In best of 3, which is what I'm going to play. In best of 3, you must get 4 wins. If you're playing best of 1, you need 7 wins because you're going to be cheap red. Anyway, when you get to that Day 2, here it is when you get to Day 2. 0 wins, no reward. 1 win, 2,000 gems, which is half of what the entry fee is. 2 wins. Actually, wait, back on Day 1. If you win 3 times on Day 1 today, you get back your entry fee. And then if you win the 4 wins, you get the entry fee plus day 2. Okay, so then 20,000 gems, 5 wins. When you get to 6 wins tomorrow, if you make it to day 2, you get $1,000. Actually, 5 wins is not so bad because you also get a Kaldheim qualifier event. Kaldheim is the next set. If people didn't know, you get to be part of that qualifier weekend for another tournament with 5 wins. 7 wins, $2,000 plus a qualifier. Oh, also when you enter, no matter if you win or whatever, or lose, you automatically get the brand new sleeves right here. Alright, so let's go for it. Okay, the Arena Open Day 1. Best of 3. Historic. Automatically get these cool sleeves. Let's apply the sleeve right now, actually. Instead of Black Lotus, we'll do the brand new sleeve. Pretty epic. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Cannot change decks, so here we go. 7 hours until the event ends, so maybe depending on whenever you play the event, you might have luck on it as well. J-Led is the opponent. Get to go first. Great. 1 mana. Okay, if it's Magical Christmas Land and I get my 2nd mana and I've got the Wraths, I can't keep that. Okay, we'll keep that. Guess we'll throw one of those back. Forgot to say hi to the opponent. Okay, they have 1 blue. Is that an opt? Are they holding on? They're probably holding on to an opt, or are they holding on to a rogue? Okay, not a rogue, but that makes me think it is a rogue deck. Double blue. It paused for a moment. One, two, three, four, five, six. I have my 6th. Okay, so it still might be rogues. When they get 4 mana, they can play Zareth San, which will steal my stuff. Okay, Curious Obsession, that's fine. If all goes well here, I can cast my Ugin and then destroy that creature. They have double blue, which could be a counterspell. But let's see. Counterspell. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to keep hitting with that Curious Obsession. They're going to have their card advantage. They might have already gotten to a point where they just have all the card advantage. They keep drawing cards off of Curious. They have enough counterspells. Draw a card. I don't know. Let's see what we get. 5, 6, 7. We're way too far from Ulamog. This might be just a slow death. And they're already at 4 on that, so yeah, if I don't get anything good next turn, we're game over, right? Yep. Alright, well, let's just see if we get anything good off of that, but then that's not enough mana to do anything useful. Yep, GG opponent. Okay, well, so we know they've got a bunch of counter spells, so I can't really deal with that. I just need to get stuff out onto the field. And I've got the Shatters and the Wraths for their creatures, but it's 4 mana. I don't really think there's anything to change here. It's just the luck. Got to an opponent that had a counterspell at the right time, so I don't really think there's any changes here. I guess a 3 mana Banishing Light might be fast enough to grab their creature with a Curious Obsession. right, it's gonna be about avoiding those counter spells, and it's just gonna be a lot of luck. I'm sure their deck is built up very counter spelly. Now this is all about building mana, so we'll see. All right, so it paused again. So clearly they have their sailor. Okay, an opt. Next turn. So again, we're getting to the point that I could do my Ugin if there isn't a counter spell, but they're probably thinking about countering it or not. Definitely disrupting me. They could have the Brazen Borrower to bounce it back. I guess that's not so bad. 3, 4, 5. One of those. Curious Obsession, of course. Okay, so obviously they have a counterspell here. So if I play my stone, that might trick them into counterspelling me, and then I can Wrath. If I go for the Ugin, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't have enough to do anything more. So let's see about that. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's one. Anthony Eugene, thank you for subscribing. If you're visiting on the chat there, we're trying to do the tournament. If you're not there, thanks anyway. Alright, so they've still got double blue. Let's see if they use the counter there. Okay. Double Curious Obsession. Triple. Okay. So that's game over for us. If I can make this Ugin land, then we have something to do. If I can't, it's game over, right? There's just no way around it. They have 5 cards in hand. They have one more Brazen Borrower to bounce back something. Banishing Light. Okay, maybe we can do something here. Okay. So that's a flyer. Is this their final Curious Obsession? No. Okay, so they want to hit me. I can live with that. Alright, so what they're gonna... Yeah, I'm still... This is still not gonna work. I'm gonna do the minus, but then that sacrifice it, counter target spell or ability. So 3, 4 in total. So that's 3. That's gonna become that. They have enough for that, right? 3 plus 6. Yeah, this is game over because if I try to minus, the Ugin. They're going to sacrifice their Storm Tamer to protect their thing. They have plenty of things in the graveyard to make Terramander big. Yeah, this is game over. They keep looking at their Terramander, maybe. Are they trying to tease me? Yeah, this is game over. They have enough things in the graveyard to make Terramander big. That's gonna be a 5/5, and then the Brazen is gonna be the final +3. So, well, that's how that goes. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 anyway, right there. Okay, well, I guess that's the tournament. Happened to get to a mono blue player that had every counter spell, and guess that's it. But we got the sleeves, and that'll be something cool to show. So, okay, that's it. I'm going to take a little break, then we'll keep going. Alright everyone, we are back. Let's change things up a little bit in our schedule. I think we can do the drawing part, the drawing aspect of things. So, which will couple over here with the comics. I'm going to show you a couple of comics, and then we'll do some drawing, and then we'll do more gameplay. So let me switch over here. So I've got here a couple of vintage Spider-Man comics. Spider-Man number 244. Number 245 with an epic cover. I'll show these in details in a moment. And then 249, and then 250. So I got these recently from eBay. Because these are the... So I have this comic book collection, right? And there's different kinds of comics to collect. And this over here with this barcode shows that it's a newsstand edition. There's basically two editions, newsstand and direct. Direct just means comic shop. So in the 80s, some comics were sold in this newfangled thing called a comic shop. Comic shops started in the late 70s, and nowadays is the main way to get comics. But in the 80s, comic shops are relatively new. So this is from a newsstand because it's got the barcode. Now here's why I got this. This cost 75 cents, and when this comic was published in like 1983, these cost, I believe, 60 cents. So this 75-cent one is the Canadian edition of this comic. This was sold in Canada. This is what they call nowadays the Canadian price variant. People will collect anything. So there's three versions of this comic. There's the newsstand comic with the barcode. There's the direct edition from comic shops that had a Spider-Man face on it. That's how those were delineated right there. Those were the comic shop versions. They had a Spider-Man head. And then the third and the most rare is the Canadian price variant, sold in Canada. So there was a deal for all of these four, and I went for it because I don't have any Canadian price variants at all in my collection of like 3,000 comics. So I thought I'll get at least one because you know, the obsessive collectability of all of this stuff is what makes it fun. And so this is a storyline with the brand new character, the Hobgoblin. There was, of course, the Green Goblin debuting in 1963, I believe. And then there was the Hobgoblin debuting around this time in 1983. There's this cover right here, Spider-Man jumping through all the pumpkin bombs being launched at him. The cover's pretty cool, pretty dynamic. I love this cover right here. The history of the Hobgoblin is totally convoluted. They had an idea of who it was going to be, but then they switched creators and they said, no, actually it's going to be this guy. And then they switched creators again and they said, no, that's actually this. So the history of the original Hobgoblin is 10 different people thought of it and no one knows the answer. So on this one, I love this cover, Spider-Man pulling off the mask and saying, and no, it can't be you. And it wasn't, because it was someone else. This guy thought he was the Hobgoblin. But I like this cover just because it's the blue and the starburst, and then ripping off the mask, and Spider-Man is like, WTF. And so this is another newsstand Canadian price variant, number 245. So there were 4 comics in total. The next one is 249. And I love this cover because, check out the blurb here. Only one man can save Spider-Man from the Hobgoblin. If that's your idea of being saved. And then it's the Kingpin. So the Kingpin debuted in Amazing Spider-Man number 50 in 1968 or so. Later became much more of a Daredevil villain than a Spider-Man villain, but debuted in Spider-Man. And so here's Spider-Man getting beat up by the Hobgoblin and then getting rescued possibly by the Kingpin. Now the covers don't always tell you the full story, and sometimes the covers also like really oh, look at that. Thank you for that. Thank you for the cheers right there, Rick man. Really appreciate it. I totally appreciate when everyone does does some bits over on Twitch or stickers here on YouTube and so forth. I really appreciate it. But here, I just love this cover because it's Spider-Man possibly defeated, and then the Hobgoblin's about to do the final blow, but then Kingpin saves him, kind of. So that's a pretty cool, I like the shadows. And then the last one, which I love the most over here we have Amazing Spider-Man number 250, so it's 249, then 250. This is funny. Special, normal-sized 250th issue. Because oftentimes when it was like issue 100 or issue 200, they doubled it and also the price. But here, for the 250th anniversary, it stayed at 75 cents. And once again, this, to my knowledge, should be the 75... Yeah, it's the 75-cent Canadian version. So another newsstand edition, 75 cents, 250th issue. And it says special, normal-sized anniversary issue. And with an epic battle, Spider-Man really doing his glute exercises. But anyway, Spider-Man battling Hobgoblin in a burning building, and Hobgoblin looking totally evil. Let's see if that gets focused. There we go. Look at that. Amazing. And then down at the bottom, side note, any emotes on Twitch? Coming soon, yes, once I get the willpower to do it, but yes, coming soon. Behold the face of death. Behold Hobgoblin. So I love those over-the-top blurbs. And then even funniest at the top over here. It's great. Steal it. So the Hobgoblin is recommending you to steal this comic from the comic shelves. And I wonder how many kids way back in 1983 actually took that advice and tried to steal this comic. And then obviously got caught and then spanked. So... And then they had to say, but the Hobgoblin told me to steal it. So I think that's pretty funny. So I love his expression over here too. It's great, steal it. Approved by the Comics Code Authority. So March 1983, 75 cents. Canadian price variant. These 4 comics that I got here were available in newsstands in Canada. In 1983, there was only like a 3, maybe 5-year window when they were printing Canadian versions of these. When I got into comics in 1987, they had gone to their 75-cent price. So the US versions of these would have been 60 cents, I believe, maybe 65. And then the Canadian ones were 75 cents. And then at some point, they all transitioned to 75 cents. When I got into comics in 87, they were 75 cents. And I remember when I was shocked when they became $1. And they kind of jumped up a lot, relatively, because they were 10 cents for a long time. Then they became 12 cents, 15 cents. I remember there were 35 cents in the late 70s, I think in the late 70s. Just from going back on the history of them. And then in the early 80s, there were 60 cents or so, mid-80s, 75 cents. When I got into it, 75 cents. And then by like 1989 or so, $1. And I was shocked. So they were 75 cents, now $1. Nowadays, they're like $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. And then Marvel, with their anniversary things, are trying to sell it for $9.99. Like, wow, comics are kind of expensive nowadays. But anyway, I got these comics recently, Canadian price variants, some Spider-Man books. I already had one of these. I don't remember if it was newsstand or direct, but in 83, you were 4. In 83, how old was I? I was born in 78. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I guess I was 5. I guess I was 5 in 84, 83 or whatever. I was born in 78, and then I think Stevie was saying here, I was negative 20. So, how old were you, Rick, when in 83, when Spider-Man, this issue was coming out? So, these are the comics for the moment. which are then going to segue. You were 9. So you were a 90s kid there. So these are the comics right here where I'm going to do my drawing of the day. But I'm going to let you all help me decide what to draw. I'm not going to draw the whole thing, just a piece of it. Who votes for Amazing Spider-Man 245, Spider-Man holding the mask, or Spider-Man 249? Maybe I could draw the Kingpin over here. Again, I won't draw the whole thing. So here I think I might draw the Kingpin. Over here I would draw Spider-Man, Incredulous. Over here I might draw Hobgoblin. And then the other one, I don't like this cover too much, so I'm going to skip that one. Spider-Man 249 with Evil Mage in place of Kingpin. This one right here. Did I show this? I've drawn a few versions of Evil Mage somewhere here. Okay, here it is here. Here's Evil Mage with his cloak off. That's so overexposed. Sorry about that, but I can show it elsewhere. That's not Evil Mage. I drew another one over here. Yeah, so when Evil Mage takes off his cloak, this is what he looks like. That's Evil Mage, truly evil from underneath the cloak. Yeah, I don't know why this is so overexposed, but there it is. No, just kidding. I think I got the real one that I drew over here. So here it is. Well, not really, but here's an Evil Mage as well. Yeah, none of the shading is showing up. I should just show the... Well, thanks for visiting anyway, Rickman, and I appreciate also those bits. Very, very appreciated. I gotta get those emotes. Yes, I am gonna do emotes. I just need to find the willpower to do them. No big deal. There's up days, there's down days. But yeah, I want to do those. I want to do some emotes. Anyways, let's Spider-Man holding the mask. Okay, so we have a vote for that. We have a vote for the Kingpin. We have Spider-Man holding the mask. What will be the tiebreaker? So we have Spider-Man holding the mask. We have Kingpin, and we have epic battle with the Hobgoblin over here. So what's the third vote? Stevie, which one? Anyone else hanging out? I don't think Kamiya Fire came by today. Gabe, haven't seen Gabe. We had Tiny Truffle earlier, but then she had to head off. You vote for the mask pull in also. Oh, Cat Spike. Hey, welcome, Cat Spike. Have you visited the stream before? I don't quite recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Yes, we do play Magic, but right now we're gonna do our drawing for the moment. So the votes, the possibilities are pulling off the mask, or Kingpin hovering over the scene, or epic battle with Hobgoblin. Again, I won't draw the whole thing, just a piece of it, just for expediency. Or is this cat that usually visits, Marshmallow Cat? Because Twitch is behaving today. You like the Kingpin? Okay, so once again, we have a divided vote. But I think more people voted for the pulling mask, so we'll do the pulling mask. So let me switch over to the other camera. I swear all of you love to do the divided votes. There's like 3 possibilities, and each one votes for one possibility. So democracy in action. But okay, let's switch over to the live cam over here. Hey, why did my light go off? Did that light... Yeah, let me turn on that other light one moment. I think when I walked outside, I might have turned off that light for some reason. Same cat, you changed your username. Okay. Welcome. You just missed me completely blowing the Arena Open. 0 wins. But anyway, let's do some drawing. And as usual, my camera gets very confused on that, so let's change that a little bit. That's not too bright, is it? That might be too bright. All right. All right, that'll be bright enough. So I might not be able to see people's quotes on the chat, but I'm going to do a quick little drawing, and then we'll get back into the gameplay. Alright, so Spider-Man holding the mask, the Hobgoblin's mask. So the head got some really cool... His eyes... It's always kind of annoying to draw so much webbing. So much webbing. You spend more of your time drawing the webbing than anything else. And of course, there's been different versions of the Spider-Man outfit. Draw Spider-Pool, a Spider-Man Deadpool hybrid. I'm pretty sure there's already been one of those. Deadpool's been pretty popular recently, and they've done a lot of those. But the costumes are so similar, aren't they? Big eyes, masked face. So I think like there's a comic for everyone, and I don't want and I don't want to gatekeep, and people can like what they like. I came to terms with that in terms of every generation will have things that they like. The one thing though that I can't get by is that they retconned the origin of Venom, that at one point Deadpool actually had the Venom symbiote. And I thought that was like, wow, you all want, Marvel, you all love Deadpool so much that now you're going to change one of my favorite things about the mythology, that before Peter Parker had the Venom symbiote, Deadpool had it. Amazing. So besides that, I'm open to like, yeah, any story is cool. So Stan Lee said like, every comic is someone's first comic, and I think that's a great sentiment, definitely. But I think when they make it that Deadpool had the Venom symbiote for a little while, I think for me that's like, you're just trying to capitalize on Deadpool. But that's just me being old man Campos. I just think Deadpool's too trendy. So, well, not even that trendy. He's been around 25 years. I'm listening to Rob Liefeld's podcast, co-creator of Deadpool, and he's talking about comics when he first started and when he was in the 70s, when he was a kid in the 70s, and when he got into comics in the 90s, and when he helped form Image Comics. It's a really cool, like, historical podcast. Obviously, everyone's got their own perspective on things, but I like hearing his point of view. I started reading comics in 1987, but I really have a fondness that I look back for to the 90s. Yeah, so many webs, too many webs, and they like radiate from a central point, basically. So now I've been listening to that podcast. About a month ago, I forgot how I found out about it, but I read that he was doing that podcast, and I heard the first issue. It was from the classic storyline, The Death of Superman, 1993. And I thought that was pretty cool. I liked his perspective. So I went back and started to listen to his episodes, and I thought, how many episodes did he actually have? And by the time I heard it, he already had like 30 episodes, no, like 40 episodes. So I said, okay, well, I guess I've got to listen to them. So little by little, I was catching up with his episodes. So I listened to a lot of podcasts. I listened to one about The Office. Anyone like The Office? Steve Carell, Jenna Fisher, John Krasinski, etc. I'm listening to Office Ladies podcast, where they talk about Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, who were Angela and Pam. They talk about their experiences being in the office. And I have enjoyed that podcast. I listen to that regularly. I also listen to, like I said, Rob Liefeld's podcast. It's called Robservations. Like history of comics. What else do I listen to? Some Magic podcasts. Magic FM. I listen to Magic FM. Some other ones too. Alright, there we go. So we have Spider-Man. We have a Spider-Man doing whatever a spider can. Alright, so that was the drawing of the day. I am going to multitask, like other weeks, by playing a game over here at the same time that I'm uploading it. Just so that you can see some gameplay as I upload it. And today is day 347. Oh, look at that. I'm getting a mirror match. Hilarious. Alright, so today's 347 of the year 2020. And I've drawn basically 347 drawings of various quality throughout the year. Alright, so they go get to get a land, but I get to scry. Give me all the white mana. Okay, so today is 12. Hey, today's 12/12. I didn't even really notice. It's day 347, so that means there's 10 days before. Whoops. That means there's 10 days before the next year, isn't there? If the math is right. Scry. I have my own mace. Sure. One, two, three, four, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not there yet. Passing. Interesting. Guess if that gets counterspelled, I can live with it. Guess I would rather have Heliod. They're gonna counterspell Heliod. Guess I'll protect that as well. If they use their counterspell on this, I can live with that. Or not. See if they spend all their mana on Alayla. I can attack with that suit, power it up. I keep looking at it, so I think they might do something. I know what they're going to do. They're going to do the bounce back a bunch of things spell. Oh, they're going to do an intervention. Okay, fine. In the meantime, let me... Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I bring her out. Although they could have their own removal spell as well. Nope. They might equip that prince. Hey Gabe, how's it going? I just finished drawing my drawing of the day, and I drew Spider-Man right here. Yeah, why is my exposure so horrible? Sorry, I'll put that better in just a moment. Let me just do what I need to do here. Next year, hopefully next year will be better, 2021. The power is in our hands, definitely. So, I think we can do it. They have 3 mana left. What are they going to do with 3 mana? Oh, man. Fine. So, yeah, 2020 was a very interesting year. It's probably the nicest way to say it, but on the one hand, you can think about how other years, other generations had also trying times, and you read about it in history, about you read about how things were at that time in history, and then we lived through something extraordinary. It's pausing for a single black mana, which could be that it is like that one. Kill your own creature to draw cards. Omen. There's not much to return, is there? Yeah, there's nothing to return. Okay. So let's see. Elspeth is going to hit my Alayla. Let's see, what will they attack with? With at least Alayla. That's nice. Massacre Worm. That's a big one, and I don't even remember how I got this alternate art, but that is a very impressive worm. What flavor text should we give this worm? Yeah, I did get the Bob Ross lands from the code. So the codes were kind of fun. They had like these different names, like Happy Little Meadows, or various things. I think it'll be worth getting the Bob Ross lands physically. Maybe, that's up to people to decide what they like to put in their collections. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Actually, can I cost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Do I have 12 mana? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 11. Close. Nah. I need to go forward with this. Alright, so I locked down their commander. Thassa actually will be able to bounce it back. So this match has been interesting. We have many of the similar cards. I don't have Thassa, but we have many similar cards. Yeah, probably this is game over because they're just going to use their Thassa to tap my and they've got a 12-10. So okay. Well, Thassa is a very good card, and with all of that mana, it's pretty unstoppable. They're just going to keep bouncing back their creature, making their equipment even stronger, so they got it. Gold-wise, do I have anything? I don't have 10, but I have 15. I know I had... Yeah, we'll do draft next time. I want to play on the ladder. So I have a brand new item listed there, music, at the end of the stream, which is going to be something totally different. Never before that I've done on the stream, and I know YouTube is going to hate it, but that'll be okay. So let's play the... So I've been streaming for 3 hours so far. Let's play a little bit of the ladder. Let's just play... I don't know, let's play a little bit until like the first loss. Let's see if we get lucky. Adamantium is the opponent, and then we'll switch over to that music item in the schedule. We'll see. Then I'll reveal what that's all about. Oh, look at that! They've got these. How did they get those Tybalt sleeves? Those look cool. That might have been from one of these FNMs that they do on Fridays. But Tybalt looks pretty cool. Alright, are we getting the Rogues deck? Third turn Rider. In case Duress, I guess, only gets my Lotus. Fine. And they pass. Okay. Is this a thought erasure for the full effect? Weird. Let's take a quick look at what their hand has then. Shark. Ashiok's great. Alright, so if they get their next mana, they're going to play Ashiok. Ah, they got the tapped mana. Okay, good. So then... clear them out for... I'm going to play their Ashiok. I'll be able to kill that Nightmare. Oh, I'll actually kill Ashiok. that's annoying. They're gonna have double Ashiok. They have another Shark Typhoon. They're gonna cast it next turn. So you did pre-order the Bob Ross Lance. Alright, so we definitely have to Agonizing Remorse, Elspeth's Nightmare, Swarm Extinction. Yeah, that'll be cool to see once they arrive what they look like. Alright, so they got the double blue for Thassa's Intervention. I guess next turn they might play that Atris card. Alright, they get a Duress. So they went with Duress and a land instead of Extinction Event. Well, I think this might be game over. They've got a counter spell right there, so they're going to be able to counter that. Unless they don't top deck anything good. There's at least one counter spell right there. They're keeping 2 cards in hand. Let's see, so they have 1 card in hand. Okay. Alright, well, the RNG wasn't there, so here's what we're gonna do to wrap up the stream today. The last item that I have there of music, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and here's what this will be. The final thing that I've got is something a little bit different here. Actually, let me set it up over here. So here's the last thing of the day. Actually, what I need to do is turn off that music. Okay, so here's what I've got for when that final item of the day said music. Here's what I want to do, something differently. Gonna pull up over here. There it is. Okay, now it's too big. Okay, so shrink it over here. So here I wanted to look back at some music in my music collection. So here in the in my media player, I've got my music collection. So for doing the math, 25 years ago was 1995. What I wanted to do here was just scroll through my music collection of 1995, play a few tracks here and there, and for us that lived the 90s, get a little bit of nostalgia of the music from back then. Now this looks a little smaller than I would like, so let me do a zoom in like this. I think that'll work. So yeah, like that, like that. So here's my music collection, and as I said earlier, YouTube's going to hate this because this is obviously copyrighted music, but here's what it's going to be. This is clearly fair use commentary on music. Now, the algorithm I know is going to ding me and say, hey, this is copyrighted, but then I'll appeal it. But it is commentary because in the US, fair use of copyrighted material is that you have commentary or review of a material, and then it's okay with nuances. So we'll think about it in those terms. So the following is presented in terms of commentary and review. All right, so here's 1995. Shout it out if any of these are memorable to you. So Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill was amazing that year. Obviously, the big famous one was You Oughta Know.
want you to know that I'm happy.
And then of course it gets to the part that rocks over here. Tell me how loud it is. I don't quite know on your end. How's it at that point? So this was the classic feminist rock song. The whole album is just amazing. I've been listening to it recently, and there's just such a great variety. Hey there, Vincent Luo. Thank you for the subscription. Jagged Little Pill is the name of the whole album, but you probably mean You Oughta Know. But anyway, that was a good one. One that I really like on that album is called Forgiven. As it was. So obviously religion is a whole other topic to talk about, but I think this is an amazing song right there. Let's do another, well, the famous Ironic. The one about being ironic that a fly in your glass of Chardonnay and so forth. And if you remember the video of herself, there were 4 Alanises in the car and they were all talking to each other. He won the lottery and he died the next day. Isn't it ironic? So that's the stuff is really ironic, and it's ironic that the song singing about irony isn't really ironic. It's just bad luck. You just saw a performance of Jagged Little Pill on Broadway special. Yeah, I heard that she went on and she did like a Broadway version, right? So that was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, 1995. Let's see some other ones. I don't know when I got this album here, the Beastie Boys Root Down. I have it in my collection. I don't even know what songs are in here. I hardly ever listen to it. So I'm going to skip it. Okay, so what I got here is Beethoven, Moonlight Sonata. Classic. The classic sad song that they put in like a movie to when something is sad. This is 6 minutes long. So this is the famous one, but then there's 3 parts of Moonlight Sonata that are less well known. Here's the next one. Much more jaunty. This one is Moonlight Sonata number 2, Allegretto. Allegre is happy. Yeah, well, we're going to see some Foo Fighters in just a moment. Now, here's the 3rd Moonlight Sonata that people might have heard. That's totally from like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, isn't it? All right, so there's that. So The Lion King came out in 1994, and they had the Lion King soundtrack, but then they also had The Lion King, Rhythm of the Pride Lands, music inspired by The Lion King. And this is just like a lot of like African-inspired music. I haven't really heard it in a while. Very poppy. Hakuna Matata's in here. Alternate version. Everyone wants to play Moonlight Sonata, definitely. So that's much more of a pop version of that, and yeah, so that was that. Okay, so Foo Fighters. This one's amazing, as you can see by my ratings right here. I'll scroll down a little bit more to see some more. So this album is just amazing. We'll listen to a little bit of it. So Dave Grohl's debut album after the end of Nirvana. First track, this is up with I'll Stick Around. So this final part of this is a call, and then it just segues so beautifully into I'll Stick Around. I love that one. This is the one that definitely makes me want to jump. Legend has it that it's all about Courtney Love. So anyway, this is an amazing song. Jump a little bit in it. Let's get to the chorus. Where's the chorus? Yeah. That one's amazing. So there's a bunch of other ones. I love For All the Cows. So on a completely, and then the main chorus starts off and then it gets hard again. Let's jump a little bit over here. So the first like minute is very slow for For All the Cows, the good one. And then, yeah, Garbage right here. I actually like their second album from '96 a lot more than the first one, although the first one has like 5 hits that are just like amazing, 5 hits that define the '90s. But I like their second album called Version 2.0. I can hear that one from beginning to end. This one, I can hear it, but the hits are the hits, obviously. Super Vixen. Love that one. Shirley Manson's voice. You know, I would have... you know, if Shirley Manson drove up on her limo and said, "Get in," see ya. And then Queer. So a lot more jangly instrumentation. Butch Vig with his mixing of like rock plus electronica. Only Happy When It Rains, that's my favorite track of the whole album. I love the music video too. Listen to the overdriven guitar. Electronica all together. And then of course Shirley Manson's voice and her look, and then Butch Vig and the other guys. This, I loved this. So this is like 9 out of 10, and then their second album, Version 2.0, is like 12 out of 10. I love it. Besides that, after that, I don't quite know their albums, but I need to get them. And then we have Michael Jackson. Moving on. No Doubt. Their future albums. There was one called something like The Return of Venus or something. Yeah, I like their music. This is the only one that I have. This one's kind of cool because it segues. After the ending, it segues into Sunday Morning. I like that one a lot. So then it segues into Sunday Morning. Love that bass. Okay, final thing here. I wish the album ended on this one. It's called Ended on This. It ends on one called Tragic Kingdom, which I don't really love, but it would have been really cool for the album to end on this one. Very appropriately. Next up I have here the big Oasis album that was a hit. This is another one that, like, the big hits are like Titanic hits of the 90s. And the in-between tracks are cool. But obviously Wonderwall. That one is like in my DNA. I remember that one on MTV all day long. And of course, Don't Look Back in Anger. Quite realized it was the last album on the track, but this one. So these 3 that I'm showing here, like, these are the big hits of this album. Everything in between is cool, but these 3 big hits. All right, let's go over here. How many of you know the group or the singer Poe? If I play their main hit, you might remember this one. But before I play it, and maybe by the names of the tracks here, does anyone remember this group here? Poe. It's 1995 alternative. Poe, does that ring any bells? If it doesn't, here's their big hit. Maybe. Very breathy voice. I think her voice is very good. Hear a little kind of like guitar, regular guitar. So, okay, there was Poe. 1995 was the Ramones' last album, and as you can see, everything's got a perfect 5 stars. I would say my favorite groups of all time, and they kind of like alternate between different positions. My favorite ones are Nirvana, the Ramones, Garbage, and MC Chris, although he's more of a rapper, a novelty rapper than a band. But I love his music. So anyway, they kind of like really alternate between the positions. I can't say which is which. I have every Ramones album. They're all right here. I just reach over to the side over here. You know, here's Here's my Nirvana albums right there, ready, handy right there. Here's my Ramones albums, just right there, handy to grab. MC Chris over there. But those top three, and then Garbage. Those are the top three that I love. But here's the Ramones' final album. This is a great album. They had kind of a lot of low points in the late 80s, early 90s, and then 95, their final album. Just a lot of energy. And then the last song, I just love the name of this final song. This is the Ramones' final song, Born to Die. Chili Peppers, One Hot Minute in 1995. Here's the song Warped. It Takes Forever to Start. And then finally it kind of starts. So yeah, this was Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction. And then kind of an interesting range of music, Warped. And then we get over to Aeroplane, which is very jangly and pop. This was memorable for the music video. Ladies dancing around in shiny clothing. Yeah. And then like this. This is Flea, I believe, on the guitar and singing. Yes, so Red Hot Chili Peppers, they've been around 30 years, 35 years. Very eclectic in all their range. I have here the Batman Forever soundtrack. So U2, the band U2 playing Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah, you always play Other Side on the jukebox when at a restaurant. Yeah, it's not on this album, but I think it's on the next one, Californication, which I also have here in the collection. But yeah, a lot of great Red Hot Chili Peppers songs to listen to. I got this at a thrift store, Empire Records, from various artists. I don't quite remember why I got it. I don't remember what the famous songs are from here, but I've got this. They are divided up here, but MTV Buzz Bin Volume 1 had like all the hits of the 90s. Actually, let's do this. Can we yeah, let's click on it like this. So there were some songs from different years. This is from 96, but some from other years. So I love this album one. And then, of course, More Human Than Human, jumping past over here. And then, of course, the part that starts. I believe the official name of this is More Human Than Human, Jedek of the Tharks remix. There's more than one version of it. You tried to do it? What song did you play? I mean, what song did you sing? I saw earlier you had mentioned your faves. Oh, here we go. Metal, Metallica, AC/DC, that sort of thing. So what would you have done? Something from off Ride the Lightning? You do karaoke when you see some of your fave songs. Tell me a few of your favorite songs there. And then, of course, the Cranberries' Zombie, their biggest hit. Oh, really? You were going to do It's Tricky. That is completely different than I would have thought what you would have said. Ooh, this one's so heavy. And then, how does High Jealousy go? Okay, yeah. Got a good tempo, very bright. And then Bush. Those dirty guitars. You were so drunk. Ooh, this is a thick track. And then No Rain. This is like one of the things that defined the 90s. I don't know, I just heard it so often. I gave it 2 stars here. I heard it way too often in the 90s. I'm kind of tired of it, even though that was 25 years ago. So this one I can listen to all day long. I never saw the video until very recently. Ooh, Rocky Horror. You sang the Rocky Horror? How much of the Rocky Horror? I have that soundtrack somewhere. But I like a lot of the songs on that. I like Double Feature, the opening track. You like karaoke, you're not great at it, but you would still like it. So good. And then, of course, everyone's favorite creep note. I've heard that one enough. I rated it there 3. I think you get the point of it when you hear it a couple times, but it's not something that I would really hear over and over like the other ones. Karaoke bar or whatever did you do that at? Well, that's the thank you on that. Yeah, I try a little bit of everything, but I like rock. Not quite metal just yet, but I like rock, grunge, alternative, leaning towards metal. I've got some rap here and there, some good hip hop, some anime, and that sort of thing. And let's wrap up at this point. Let's keep this playing.